What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for May 17th, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Saturday edition of the podcast. We had a very busy and big week here on the podcast. Tuesday, the Sixers got the third pick. We finished out our 5 harsh truths that everybody needs to accept to become a better person. Eagles' schedule was released. Actually, the Sixers got the first pick on Monday, but we recapped it on Tuesday. Eagles schedule release spent Friday with AI. AI simulated the Eagles 2025 season. The Flyers have a new head coach. The Stotesbury Regatta. All kinds of good things happening this week. And if you missed it, you can go back and re-listen to some of the episodes because it's a great thing about the podcast coming out every day. Yes, it's sort of time specific because of that day, but if you want a daily sports history lesson, go back and listen to any of the episodes that you may have missed. But we certainly had a busy week. Made the announcement that I joined the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network. So very, very big week here on this day in Philly sports history. All culminating with the Phillies, who it was a weird game yesterday. Very, very weird game. 8-4 they won. They beat the Pirates. Almost a 2-hour rain delay. You had Dolph Lundgren, Drago throwing out the first pitch, which I don't understand why they had him throwing out the first pitch. He was like the anti-hero in Rocky IV. He killed Apollo. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know. He probably would still kick my ass right now, but that's okay. But Dolph Lundgren threw out the first pitch, the rain delay, and then, like I said, just a weird game. Ranger was very efficient, looked pretty good. Hopefully that trend is going to start continuing because we definitely are going to need him here in the lineup. But once the game got started, I will say the Phillies were patient, and that was sort of this last year. This team would have gotten blown out by the Pirates or lost like 3-1 or whatever it would have been. But that 7th inning, they were patient with the Pirates bullpen. Lots of walks. Were able to take the lead. Timely hits, which they've been doing. So I do like where they're going. Showed a lot of heart and toughness and patience. The things that I think we want from this team that we haven't been seeing consistently. Bryce Harper, congratulations to him. Got his 1,000th career RBI. I think he's like... I should have looked it up. I'll look it up for tomorrow. I forget how many people, but I know he was tied with Darryl Strawberry when he hit his 1,000th and moved up past him in that 7th inning. But good win for the Phils, 8-4. Bullpen looked decent. The young kid that they have kind of filling in there struggled a bit, but again, that's okay. Zach Wheeler on the mound today as they look to win the series as they take on the Pirates tonight down at the bank. And apparently it's rivalry week, and I heard a lot of people, or rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball. And I heard a lot of people saying, oh, the Phillies and the Pirates don't really have a rivalry. And that's because the Pirates have been so bad for so many years. But if you go back into like the 70s and early 80s, the Phillies and Pirates were a pretty big rivalry, cross-state rivalry. So that, I think, is where they're going with that. But, yeah, I don't remember, but in the late 70s, it was the Phillies and Pirates battling for the NL East title. And really, in the history of the NL East, we talked about this before on this podcast, but I forget the exact number, but from 1969 to 93, pretty much the Pirates and the Phillies were the two teams dominating the NL East. So there is certainly a rivalry there. Cross-state, Pittsburgh is not quite on a New York hate level, but when it comes to their teams and their fans, certainly one of those fan bases that you like to beat. The big story before the game was Aaron Nola was placed on the IL. Not anything shoulder related. Apparently hurt his ankle warming up back in Tampa and kind of tried to pitch through it. I don't know if that is the reason why he got shelled the other day, but they're going to set him down for a few starts. They're going to bring Taijuan Walker back into the rotation out in Colorado. But for now, they called up Mick Abel to pitch tomorrow. He's going to go head-to-head with Paul Skeens, the presumptive front-runner for the Cy Young Award. So good, big challenge for Mick. But I'm anxious to see what he has. He was the first-round pick in 2020. He and Andrew Painter are sort of the future of the Phillies rotation. So lots of talk about Mick possibly being a possible trade piece. So big game for Mick Abel tomorrow to see what he can do against major league talent, I guess you could say, but kind of like a triple A team in the Pittsburgh Pirates. So good opportunity for him. But that does lead to today's question of the day. Are you excited for Mick Abel's debut tomorrow? I am. Like I said, I want to see what he got, what he has, and whether or not we're going to be able to use him as a potential piece in the rotation or potential trade pawn later this summer, as the Phillies certainly are going to be able to, are going to need to upgrade in certain areas. So I'm excited, but what do you think? 267-495-8531. That's the Back to the Future voice and text line. 267-495-8531. Get that. Anything else Philly sports related off your chest. Also, the Discord channel is live, so go the first link in the description wherever you're watching or listening to this. Join the Discord chat, and let's start getting some of those conversations going in there. Let me know your thoughts on Mick Abel. All right, so yesterday I kind of started, and I'm going to play around with this for a few days to see where it goes. A trivia question of the day. It's kind of inspired by the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia question. But yesterday's question, I did ask, the Phillies have had 3 guys win Gold Gloves as third baseman, 14 of them total. Mike Schmidt had 10, Scott Rowland had 3. But who won the other one? And I didn't know this, or I probably knew it, I just forgot about it. But Placido Polanco in 2011 is the third guy to win a Gold Glove for the Phillies. All right, today's trivia question. On this day in 1980, Flyers lost in the Stanley Cup Finals 6-2 to go down 2-1. Who was their opponent in the 1980 Stanley Cup Finals? That is today's trivia question. Let's have some fun with this and see where it goes. And by the way, I was trying to name, because what inspired this all was the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia question on the Phillies broadcast, and it was the 4 guys who won 8 or more Gold Gloves at third base. It was Brooks Robinson, Mike Schmidt, Scott Rowland, and Nolan Arenado of the Cardinals was the other guy. That was the guy I could not remember. All right, let's do some housekeeping. As I mentioned, the Discord channel is live. Go check it out. Leave your thoughts. Let's have some fun. Build a nice little Philly sports history community in there. It doesn't have to be Philly sports history. Anything Philly sports related. Just like the Back to the Future voice and text line. Get anything off your chest. But that is available. If you go to the description, it's the very first link. There's an invitation in there. Click it, and you're good to go. I mentioned this yesterday, but we don't tend to not give our South Jersey friends enough love. But this is a cool event. There's an open house at the South Jersey Baseball Hall of Fame, May 21st at 6:30. It's at the William G. Rohr Center at Camden County College in Cherry Hill. Lots of great players have come through and come out of South Jersey, including Andrew Bailey, Raleigh Eastwick, Kid Gleason, Goose Goslin, Hank Greenberg, Mike Trout, and of course our old pal Walter French. Thank you to Lenny Wagner for bringing this to my attention. And go support Lenny and buy the book, Playing with the Best, One Man's Journey Through the Golden Age of Sports. Be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mont on Twitter and TikTok. On Instagram, at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont, as we grow this thing. Spread the word. Don't forget, there's highlights on my social media pages, including Facebook and LinkedIn. And I mentioned earlier to go back and listen. If you didn't listen to Fridays with AI, very realistic, I thought, simulation of the 2025 Eagles season. So go back, check out it this week, anything you missed. If you're on your way to a kids sporting event or wherever, it's hard to believe next weekend is Memorial Day weekend, and we're going to be going down to the shore and things like that. So If you missed anything, it's a great day to catch up. But all of that is available on my social media as well as the YouTube channel. Union in action tonight down in Atlanta, looking for their 6th straight game without a loss. Could get it done today. Looking forward to that. I mentioned earlier the Flyers have a new coach, Rick Tocchet, a familiar face. Had his intro press conference yesterday, and it was pretty typical and about what you would expect. But I'm looking forward to this. I think there's a lot of people out there who are still skeptical because it's like, oh, here we go. They're bringing back old guys to do it. They keep it everything in-house. So much nepotism, blah, 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 blah. But I think Tocchet, Danny Briere talked a lot about this. Basically his communication style with the team, and he's more of a teacher. And maybe you look at his head coaching record and nothing's jumping off the page at you. But I do think with a young team, you need a guy who is going to be able to get through, communicate to them, teach them, and get them where they need to be. So I really do, the more I'm looking into this, I don't look at it as this is the old school guys coming back in, because he was getting a ton of interest from other teams as well. I think that's the difference. There's a lot of times where Bobby Clark was just bringing guys in because they were his buddies or his old teammates. I think the same thing with Danny Briere being the GM. So I like this move, but be sure to let me know your thoughts on Rick Tocchet in the Discord channel or on the Back to the Future voice and text line. Do have some Eagles news, and this was interesting. There was a video with Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb talking about Quinyon Mitchell and how Eagles fans are like, oh, Quinyon you got shut down, and they were like, this don't fly here, this don't fly here. And CD said, I've never been locked down on any island. That's cap. It's going to be a long summer, but I like this. I like getting a little chippy already here in May for the opening game of the NFL season. And yes, CD, you kind of did get shut down, but we'll see. Dak's going to be back, so got that going for you. But today is also the Eagles Autism Challenge. Great event for them. One day I'm going to participate in this when I'm done being old and broken and get my knees right. But good event for the Eagles today as the Autism Challenge is happening. Be sure to go check out my boys at the Clashing Conferences podcast. Like I said, we are a part of their sports fan network. Go to clashingconferences.com to see what they have to offer, how you can get involved, get your voice heard. They're always looking for new members. Great group of guys, like-minded people, as I said, and just go talk some sports and have some fun. These guys are spread out across the country too, which is really, really cool to get perspectives from other cities and what the view of Philly is from outside. And it does work both ways, what the Philly view is of some of these places. So go to clashingconferences.com to see how you can get involved and what they have to offer. And again, if you're like me and you are a small-time podcaster, they have the media services that will actually help as well. And then, of course, do some shopping at Philly Goat. They got you covered. Next weekend, like I said, is Memorial Day weekend already. Means pool, shore, mountains, whatever, but they have you covered with these slides. And my daughter is bugging me already this morning. When are my slides coming? She got it's a Philly thing. My son got the light blue, powder blue ones with the Fanatic face on it. But these things are awesome. I'm actually wearing my Super Bowl champion Jalen Hurts ones right now. I wear them around the house all the time. Looking forward to taking them to the pool next weekend with my cooler backpack. Also available on the websites. Just go check it out. Scroll through. Look at all the great things they have. All the great collaborations with the companies they're working with. I told you about the rocks glasses. Father's Day is coming up. I'll drop some hints. I would gladly take them as a Father's Day gift. But go to Philly Goat. Check it out. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. All right, May 17th. We've got a little bit of a Phillies-Cubs doubleheader, so to speak, today. And we're going to look at two games on two opposite ends of the scoring spectrum. First, we're going to go back to 1979, and quite possibly the wildest game in Major League Baseball history happened today. The two teams combined for 45 runs, 50 hits, and 11 home runs. Obviously, the wind was whipping out at Wrigley Field that day. It was the Phillies coming out with a 23-22 win in 10 innings. Mike Schmidt hit 2 homers, including the game winner in the 10th. Bob Boone, starting pitcher Randy Lurch, hit a home run that day as the Phillies scored 7 in the first inning. Unfortunately for Randy, he was only able to get one batter out in the bottom of the first, so his day was short. Gary Maddox hit another one for the Phils. Dave Kingman hit 3 out for the Cubs. But like I said, it was Mike Schmidt with the game winner in the 10th, and quite possibly the wildest game in Major League Baseball history. 13 runs in the first inning, and then from there, it was just back and forth. The Phillies at one point had like a 15-run lead and blew it because of the wind blowing out. But you might be surprised to learn this is not the highest scoring game in Major League Baseball history. That happened in 1922 when 49 runs were scored at Wrigley Field between the Cubs and the Phillies. Believe it or not, the Phillies in 2 of the highest scoring games in Major League Baseball history. But on this day in 1979, 23-22, Phillies win in 10 innings. Mike Schmidt with 2 homers. Dave Kingman for the Cubs with 3, where pitching was just a luxury, or non-existent, I should say, not even a luxury, non-existent on this day at Wrigley Field. Fast forward 12 years to 1991. Same 2 teams took on each other at the Vet, combined for 1 run, 20 hits, in 16 innings. The Phillies won it in the bottom of the 16th when Dickie Thon knocked in Dale Murphy. Remember those guys? Dale Murphy, of course, was at the end of his career there. It wasn't the Dale Murphy that we knew from the Braves. Pat Combs gave Phillies fans hope that day, went 8 innings and stood toe-to-toe with Greg Maddux, who went 9 scoreless innings. But it was the Phillies winning it in the bottom of the 16th. So you go from one extreme, 45 runs, to 1 run in a matter of 12 years. Of course, Wrigley Field played a big part in that first one. So 2 opposite ends of the spectrum for the Phillies and Cubs on this day. May 17th, 1979, the 45-run outburst. 1991, a 1-run pitcher's duel that went 16 innings. All right, and then finally today, before I get into the song, people have been reaching out asking if you want me to share this playlist with you. I certainly will. It's still not complete yet, but if you want to get a sneak peek, let me know. I sent it to a few people yesterday. Hit me up in the Discord channel, and I'll send you the link. But we're going to add to our Philly Sports Summer playlist. And today, I don't think there's a song that is more Philly sports than this. It's Gonna Fly Now by Bill Conti, released in 1977. It's basically the theme from Rocky. And it, like I said, it's the ultimate Philly sports song. It's a must-have song if you want to get pumped up, if you want to have some of that Philly nostalgia, you want to get everybody doing their best boxing impersonations, or you want to run some stairs. It's a good workout song. I work out to the Gonna Fly Now all the time. It reached 94 on the Billboard Hot 100 back then. It was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song. And the Philly tie is obvious. I mean, take your pick, whatever sports team, whatever sports reference, somehow, some way, Gonna Fly Now is the song that everybody plays. And truthfully, probably other than Fly Eagles Fly, and that's been a more recent song, probably the most recognizable Philly sports song in the world. So Gonna Fly Now by Bill Conti is today's summer sports playlist. I told you we're spanning tons of genre, got a little something for everybody. And as a bonus today, I love this song. Absolutely love it. And I included this as the bonus because they do play this sometimes at the Link. They used to play it more when there were penalties and things like that. but it's Take You Back by Frank Stallone. You know this as the group of the singing guys by the fire barrel in South Philly when Rocky's walking around. But Take You Back by Frank Stallone is our bonus song. And again, loved it when they played it when a team does a false start against the Eagles and they say, take you back, do. So there you go. Gonna Fly Now is today's Philly Sports playlist song of the day. Bonus, Take You Back by Frank Stallone. And if you do, like I said, if you want a link to the playlist, hit me up and I will get that to you. On this day in 1979, quite possibly the wildest game in Major League Baseball history happened. Phillies beating the Cubs 23-21 in 10 innings out at Wrigley. And then in 1991, they beat the Cubs 1-0 in 16 innings in a pitcher's duel. We'll have more on the Phillies tomorrow. We will also have updates on the Union as they go for 6 straight games without a loss. Don't forget today's trivia question. 1979 Flyers, or 1980, they lost today 6-2 to fall behind 2-1 to what team in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals? Let me know. Go to the Discord. Let's grow this thing. Let's have some fun. Have fun at your kids' sports and everything today. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for May 17th, 2025. My name's Jim Montgomery, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.